Welcome to Unapologetic Geek Out, the UGO podcast. Oh my goodness, Travis, I am so excited for this episode. How about you?
Well, thanks, Nick. I am ready to talk about this.
Wait a second,
not
you're not
Travis.
Where the fuck is this guy?
My voice morpher seems to be malfunctioning. I thought that was in a better setting than it was. Ugh.
Oh my goodness, we don't have the god of the pod here, guys. This is odd. Well, maybe I have the two to make up for it. Well, of course, I'm Nick, the Merc with the mic, and bringing in to replace the god of the pod, I have Patience.
Hi, y'all.
Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, I got this just in Zarian, our news correspondent, and just general, good time having now husband. Say hi.
Mm-hmm. I have joined the club. I am part of the elite married couples. So I'm just.
This is the first. This is the first time we've had you on this pod after you have been married, I believe.
Yeah, no, I was on that Robin Hood commentary with my wife, actually, believe it or not. So
for
those was fun.
Those you want to listen to that, I will edit that and put that up around the same time as this, I'm thinking.
Okay.
So, man, that was a fun experience. We'll talk about that in a little bit, too.
Fun for you.
Yeah, I think fun is a very loose term to describe that movie.
Oh boy, I'm at a loss without my co-host Travis. I guess I'll just start off the what are we unapologetic about this week, guys? How's your week been?
We both like,
don't everyone jump up at once.
We're still doing like South by Southwest recovery over here in beautiful
right.
Austin, Texas. We just finished South by last week. And it was a thrill ride, that's for sure. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to, but I did get to see some really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Including
nice.
The new Jordan Peele movie,
yes,
correct?
I did get to see Us, and I cannot wait to talk to someone who's seen it about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, me and Travis saw it this morning, too. I was hoping you'd be on here to talk about it. We also watched, Captain Marvel, and I was hoping to do a thing on that, too. But, unfortunately, hopefully this episode can still be Marvel Us.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I regret nothing. I regret
You've
nothing.
been waiting all day to say that, haven't you?
Only 7 hours when I thought of it.
It's a good one, though. It's a good pun.
But yeah, I have some news to get to, and I have one very sad and kind of a downer rant to go on, and then I have a fun one that's a lot more Nick brand to go on.
Oh, you're doing news without me, Nick? Come on.
So, first of all, I would like to thank everyone that reached out to me after last week's episode, where I shared some stuff I was going through. Patience and Justin, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but last week I shared that I was have been on antidepressants for the last 2 months.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so the last 2 weeks have gone in a very downward spiral. The new medications I'm on are they all affect things differently. So these ones actually increase my depression, but lower my anxiety so that I'm not worried about it at all. Which is probably the reason I can talk about it on mic a lot. So this is why things have been late on the podcast, late coming out, especially on Netflix and Kill, which is now 2 weeks late, I think. Which was March was supposed to be our car month, and I was all excited about it, and now almost no episodes have gone up. But the other day I woke up choking on my own vomit, which was really funny.
Oh, jeez.
I'm
sorry.
I laughed about it for a good 20 minutes afterwards because I just laughed at how ironic it was that I started this because I wanted to kill myself and now I might drown, which is my least favorite way to die. Which that was Suicidal Nick talking, which is what I like to call him. He's like, oh, you might as well just go off your meds, Nick, because, what's the point if you're just going to be this miserable? And I'm like, Suicidal Nick, is that you? Oh, yeah, you got me. Oh, get out of here, you scamp. Okay, well, good luck with that whole realization that I only have to win once while you have to win every day for the rest of your life. All right, what a rascal. So, it has been rough this week, to say the least. And, not to put anyone on too much of a bummer tick here, but I just thought I would explain why episodes have still been sparse and editing has been pretty lackadaisical and that sort of thing, or just to people of that I'm usually in contact with, why I've dropped off for multiple days at a time. I'm just asleep a lot now. Like, I sleep a lot, and it's depressing because I realize that it's not that because I thought of oh man, I really like sleep now. I used to not sleep at all. It's not that I like sleep, is that I don't like being awake, which is translation, I don't like being alive. So there is a lot of stuff that I'm working through therapy and a lot of drugs right now. They just upped me. I think they're concerned about it, or at least I don't know how drugs work, but I've gotten a new medication that's 3 times the amount of what my previous one was. But then again, I don't know how these work. So, this is what I'm going through. Thanks everyone that reached out to me last week and to talk to me and was supportive. That was very touching and meaningful. Special thank you to Les Weiler, who has been helping me through this as well.
Les is the best.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what's been going on with me.
If I may, Nick, I just would like to intervene for a second and be like, thank you so much for sharing that, because it's really important that we have an open dialogue, an open and honest dialogue about mental health in our current age. And it's very brave and awesome of you to talk so openly about it. And I applaud you for dealing with it. And also, making sure that you're trying as best as you can to be as healthy as you possibly can.
Yeah. And, the honesty is really honestly it's really interesting to me because the drugs have, a lot of them work differently, but some of them act as sedatives, some help with depression, some seem to increase it, which is not cool. It's not what I want. But what seems to be consistent is that my anxiety, now, some of them reduce my anxiety. The ones I'm on now, it's like anxiety doesn't even exist. I'm not worried about anything.
Yeah.
I still have suicidal thoughts, but now I'm not worried about them, which is also kind of objectively concerning, but yet I don't feel concerned, which is probably should be very worrying, and I know that logically, but I don't feel it, so that's pretty weird.
It's very important that you're open and keep telling your the person that's prescribing these drugs, your psychiatrist, that what you're feeling, because it will take some time for them to find you the perfect cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time.
Sure.
Right. And that's the reason why I haven't been normally when I schedule stuff, I schedule interviews and stuff weeks in advance. And I've been pushing it off and been doing stuff because I don't know how well I'm going to feel until the day of, if I'm going to have the energy to do whatever I need to do. So that's why for scheduling and stuff, I've been doing it either hey, do you want to record today or tomorrow? Because that's when I think I'm going to feel the best. And a lot of doing this I've had to self-reflect a lot. And so that's not 100% true. The real reason is that I haven't been scheduling stuff out in the future is because I'm not confident I will be alive. And that's rough to deal with once you realize that that's the thing. So, also, I realized what some of my previous behavior is. I've never liked driving, and now I remember why, because during high school, I would remember trying to find ways, that I could get into a car accident, make it look like an accident, so that no one would suspect it was a suicide. So that's why I don't like driving, but at all. So that was interesting. I've spent years hating driving and not knowing why, and it was a repressed memory. So that was interesting to finally remember that. It's also a reason I don't keep guns around. is, well, one, I don't feel like I have it in me to murder another human being, even in self-defense. But two, I'm pretty worried that I would have such a convenient way around to keep something like that around. So right now has been a very self-reflective learning experience for me, and I realize that what I'm saying right now is objectively horrifying. But to me, it's like it's interesting. Like, and I found I'm genuinely curious about how I'm learning about myself and how things are falling into place. And I'm not sure if that's just because I need something else to focus on right now other than just the long haul that I have left to go. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, and I thought if I was open and a dialogue about it, that, anyone who has similar feelings, if, like, I'm not sure how ubiquitous these types of feelings are, or how unique suicidal thoughts are. What I found, which is neat about, which is really interesting about suicidal thoughts, I shouldn't say neat, is how much you can want to live and be scared to die and still have suicidal thoughts. Because, like, you one day you are down in the dumps, and the next day you realize how close you were to ending it all the yesterday, and you're like, holy shit, I gotta figure this out because that was scary as shit. So yeah, that's what I'm going through.
Well, just remember you are loved.
Yeah, Nick, I just gotta say that, I don't fully understand the process of what's going on with suicidal thoughts, but I just want you to know that you're my friend. Like, I really consider you to be a close friend of mine, and I'm here for you as much as anybody
Absolutely.
else. So I've dealt with friends who have dealt with depressive spells. Sometimes they channel it out through suicidal tendencies. Sometimes they channel out through strange bouts of bipolarism and that kind of such. But, I've seen people go through those down to the dump moments only to find ways to pick themselves up too. So, I know there is always hope for that kind of stuff. And it's just a way of being able to find, like you said, just constructive purpose and constructive reason, and really trying to evaluate what you love about yourself the most, I think, as well. I mean, because I do think you do have a lot to contribute to people. So, I'm here for you just like anybody else.
Well, thank you very much, Justin. Thank you very much, Patience. That is very meaningful to me, and I'm glad I have friends just as special as you, and I do appreciate you guys every day. So thank you so much. So with that, I have no way to transition out of that, and
yeah, how do you follow up after that?
I have my secondary rant, which will go into a classic Nick rant. It'll get us right back on track, I promise. So,
oh boy,
not to get too political. It'll sound political at first, but this rant is not political. The DNC is looking for places to house their their debates. And or town halls or something, and apparently some people are calling Milwaukee not fancy enough to have said town hall, and I was like, okay, well, Milwaukee really isn't like, it's standard, like Milwaukee isn't really all that fancy. Wisconsin kind of sucks. I've been on record saying that. But then I figured out who was saying such things, and I have feelings about it because it was officials from Miami were saying that Milwaukee is just not fancy enough. So my following rant goes out to said Miami officials. How fucking dare you? Listen, us Midwesterners, we can say that about each other. I will take that from an Indianan. I will take that from a Michiganite. I will take that from a Wisconsinite. But you know who I won't fucking take it from? A fucking Floridian. That's right. We may not have a lot. We might not have a lot of pride in ourselves, but you know who doesn't get to call us shit? Florida. Any place in Florida, especially Miami. Miami, we're not fancy enough for you? Fuck you. So, am I supposed to take this shit from a city that might as well be called Bedbugs, Bath Salts, and Beyond? Fuck yourself. Fuck you, Miami. We have cheese curds, and we like them, you piece of shit.
I feel like Miami has, like, actual zombies.
People eat each other there. Do we have a hashtag Wisconsin man? No, we do not, sir. No, we do not.
Hey, we know that Florida's just as bad as Gotham is on the Gotham TV show, so...
You're one pointy-eared vigilante away from being the worst crime city in Gotham. You are a madhouse. It is Mad Max over there, and you have the audacity to claim any other place is not fancy enough? No, sir. That shall not stand.
Well, so just thinking of that too, did any of you do that thing on social media where they asked you to, like, find your date tied to Florida Man news?
I have not done it yet.
Did
I
that.
have not done it yet.
I think mine was like getting attacked by squirrels. Someone apparently, it's like someone got attacked by a local squirrel.
Some woman used a squirrel to attack a man.
Okay,
that's the one I was thinking I would be. It was like, but I would be the woman attacking somebody with a squirrel. Maybe
Travis got Florida Man videoed while licking doorknob.
Oh, that was a good one.
Which we assumed was like, well, it's got to be like a doorbell, like camera, right? Like a door cam. But then
it was. I thought.
Okay, but then we thought like, oh, maybe someone's just videotaping some sort of fetish. Like we were really trying to figure it out. Like it was without doing any research.
Yeah, no, it was. I actually watched it. It was some dude. They did have a video camera, but it was just some dude that walked up to their house and started licking their doorknob.
Yep. So sorry to any Floridian listeners, but talk to your people. Get them under control. You know who you are.
If you listen to us and you live in Florida, then you're like the 98th percentile.
You're the cream of the crop, listeners.
You're not going to be one of those people.
All right. Hopefully. Did anyone else have any rants they wanted to do?
Can I? Well, I do have some stories to tell if I haven't told them already about my wedding and all the stuff that happened around that. So
that's
I do
right.
have some.
There was this thing on Facebook.
Love wedding stories. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I have the good wedding stories and I have the bad wedding stories.
I was going to ask you if you were comfortable with sharing the bad one because that's some Days of Our Lives shit, and I was like,
okay, well, there was one bad one, and I'm sure I can get Lexi's approval whether or not to actually. I won't say many details about this story, obviously. Mm-hmm. She's giving me the thumbs up, so I can talk about this a little bit. Yeah.
Give me them deets.
So, Lexi, did you want to talk about it? No? Okay, never mind. She's not brave enough to tell it on her side. Anyways, so what happened was, the wedding itself actually was very nice. We had a lot of people come out from, all over the country, mostly the West Coast. We had some professors of mine who came. We had some friends of ours who drove out from California to come up there. People who flew out from other states. And the reception was very nice. It was a small little place, nearby Lexi's parents' house, actually. It's a little reception hall that was like a very rustic feel, very intimate kind of thing. We had about maybe 120 people, something like that, who showed up. So, really exciting. Now the problem was, when everything was all said and done and the reception was winding down, there was a whole thing where they were cleaning up, and in the kitchen, somebody found an envelope. And it was like, that's weird. Why is there a straight envelope left here in the kitchen? Oh, well, I guess somebody didn't place it in the bag with all the other gift cards. So they placed it there. And the next day, Lexi and I are going through the envelopes and looking at the stuff that people wrote for us. We're like, oh, that's sweet, Uncle so-and-so. Oh, that's sweet, my friend here. What's this? And we open up this envelope that they found, and it's this nasty freaking letter that they wrote about Lexi and her family, and they're using like really nasty personal details about her to tell how she's apparently like some hoe who's marrying me for my money and some other kind of stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And there's no, it's all typed. There's only one handwritten detail on the front, and it looks like it was written by a child, maybe purposely. And there was just a bunch of just freaking nasty stuff that they just tried to say, like, yeah, Lexi's family's horrible, Lexi's horrible, everything else is horrible, why, people are morons, and we're just like, how the frick, what is wrong with you people? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just couldn't believe it. So we did some digging. We can't actually say if we know exactly who it is, but we have a good idea. It's a long, stupid personal story kind of thing.
Sure.
But it was just so bizarre. Just someone like decided on this day they were supposed to go just like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this little bomb here and rain on their parade.
So fucking rude. I'm sorry.
It really is.
Was it someone?
No,
do you think it's someone in your family, or do you think it's someone in Lexi's family, or do you think it's like a mutual friend?
Again, I don't want to fully point fingers, but we have an idea.
No
that
one can point fingers. He can't point fingers, Patience, but we can speculate.
I'm speculating.
So what I'm thinking is that it's one of Justin's long lost jilted lovers that is
yes, it's one of my many lovers because I'm just such a Casanova. You know,
we all know what a ladies' man you are, Justin. They don't call you Jay-Z for nothing. So what?
Yeah, Jay-Z. You know, I get all the ladies. It's just.
And then this woman, they had to cut it off after she cut off her ear and gave it to Justin, so he had to cut it off with her. And so now she's a one-eared freak that will never know love, so is now willing to destroy Justin.
I don't want to be a bitch right now by calling it out, but Veronica Van Gogh, she needs to get the fuck out right now.
I should have known something was wrong by that last name, but I'm like, wrong.
I know, right? It's not.
Well, Justin, as your friend, I am outraged that this has happened. That is a shitty thing to ruin such a special day for you. But I will say that as an audience member, that is delicious. That is great content. But as your friend...
I'm glad that you can both feel sympathy and ridicule for my problems.
I'm mad. But as a general audience member, like, say, if I was watching this, that's some good shit right there. That's some good shit to come back to commercial on.
It's amazing. And because I'm a Redditor, and so I follow, like, all of those fucked up family, like, threads, the Bridezilla threads, I mean, the shitty wedding threads, because I love that stuff. So your stuff...
Dude, the drama.
I know. Oh. I love it. And your real life...
It's so good.
No, and that's the funny thing is, like, you know, it's just, thankfully most people have been very supportive, because I made that post on Facebook, and everyone pretty much instantly just went, what the frick? What is wrong with those people? And we think whoever saw it, you know, if we think it might be whoever it is, decided to change their tune really quickly by the way certain people were acting after the fact. So we're like, yeah, I think they got their message clear that, like, if you mess with me one more time, like, that's the thing. You know, they think they can push around Lexi's family and Lexi and that such, but they can't push around with my family. We got a team of lawyers in our family. You know, 3 people, 2 who are training in law school right now, 1 who's a veteran lawyer of 30. I'm just like, because this has happened more than once. That's the thing, too.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say, in the words of Justin Zarian, you do not know who you're frickin' with.
Oh, yeah. You do not know who you're frickin' with, indeed. No, that's the thing. I mean, you know, I don't mean to be all insensitive and rude like that.
That's not rude.
That's the thing. It's like, you know, I'm sure, you know, Patience, you being a married person as well, just like, you would expect that if Carlos saw a situation where someone was doing that to you, you'd want him to step in for
absolutely.
You like that, right?
It's very important that that you have your wife's back. It's incredibly important. And I also will not go into too much detail, but, you know, there have been issues throughout our 20-year marriage, y'all. I know, right? It's 19 and a half, technically. That where I have been like, you need to, like, take care of your family. Like, you need to check them. And I check my family, he checks his family, and we have each other's back. And that's what marriage is all about.
I love how Patience's philosophy is, like, you know, the opposite of, like, you know, we should all take care of our family, and Patience is like, you should fucking take care of your family before I do.
I mean, there's been times where and me as well, like, you know, my family is we're complete opposites. My family is drunken Irish Catholics with a ton of brothers and sisters and kids. And then his is very conservative Mexican Catholic, and they're, like, very old fashioned, and we're, like, rowdy and crazy, and his family's like, oh my God. But at the same time, like, there's been some instances where I'm like, you need to tell your family to back the fuck off. Like,
yeah. No, and I've had people on my side of the family, because even it's a funny thing where I'm like, oh, I can't really say anything about, like, oh, Lexi's crazy family, because I'm like, oh yeah, my grandmother, my dad's sister, these aunts on this side of the family. I can't play the high ground of my side of the family either.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, as long as you and Lexi have each other's back, that's all that matters.
Yeah. But other than that, everything else was pretty good. We went to Vegas for our honeymoon as well. And, yeah, that was fun. I will say a few things, talking about rants. So, you know, when you want to go on a honeymoon, you want to try, like, exquisite foods, you know, like, oh yeah, we get to try out all these kind of unique things. Vegas has huge buffets to offer. They have a lot of, you know, variety of stuff. Mm-hmm. And we decided to go to Gordon Ramsay's burger restaurant.
Oh, I see.
So it's at Planet Hollywood, and it's this place where they make these exquisite burgers, apparently. You know, like these, like, special ingredients, certain cheeses you can't find in other places, you know, imported stuff from England. And we're just like, oh, this is gonna be great. We can eat freaking Gordon Ramsay cooking. So first of all, there's a line in front of the place, because it's not like a proper restaurant. It's like, it's a sit-down place, but essentially it's a glorified burger place, you know? Like not like any fancy waiters. It's just this little place with, like, tables and such. And it took us a good, I don't know, half hour to get into just to get into the restaurant, first of all. And that was on a slow night, too, because we went back later and we saw, like, just huge lines going out. It just, so then we get there and we, you know, get things settled, we order our food, and it takes a good 40, 50 minutes for them to bring out the burgers. And then we finally get the burgers, and we ordered something simple. We got, like, a ultimate cheeseburger and a chicken sandwich, you know, just for us to both try and share kind of thing. And they're one of those things where it's like, it's not that it was a bad burger, but for the time that we waited and when we finally got to eat the food, we're like, it tastes fine, except it's small burger, it's not very filling, and they cost $34 altogether.
What?
Yeah, $34 for just the burgers. No drinks, no sides, just the burgers themselves were $34.
Did Gordon Ramsay give you a hand job personally with the burger?
I don't know if that would have helped, honestly.
And then he yells at you while doing it? What's worth $34 goddamn dollars? Holy shit.
I know, that's the thing. No, and even worse, because, you know, everything in Vegas is expensive, of course. But we went to a Fat Burger the next day. And you'd think, like, oh, Fat Burger is not really, like, high-class burger stuff. But, you know, she can tell you, we got burgers, fries, and drinks for the same exact price, and it tasted better, and it filled us better. And we're just like, man, screw you, Gordon Ramsay, and your freaking expensive burgers. Like, look.
This is so disappointing to me, because I'm going to Vegas next month, or in 3 weeks, actually, and I definitely wanted to check out Gordon Ramsay, but I guess that's not going to happen.
I mean, the only thing is that we didn't go to his other restaurant. Apparently, it's on the other side of the strip, and I guess maybe it's better. But I would just say that the burgers themselves were fine. Like, they're not bad burgers. It's just not worth the wait or the cost. You know, like, if you want a $17 burger, then please, by all means, go to Gordon Ramsay's if you're that kind of food connoisseur.
Yeah. See, that's interesting, because you're both going to Vegas. I've never been, and I feel like
my God,
you've never been, Nick?
I've never been. I would love to go. I feel like I would, Justin, I feel like you would be not as fun to go with as patients, but I'd be 100% guaranteed to actually come back. So
I was just going to say that, like, if you went with me, you would have the best time of your whole entire life.
Oh, patients, you and I would have the best time. There's no doubt about that. It's just that the risk factor is undoubtedly higher. Like,
I mean, if we were hospitalized afterwards, that would not be a big surprise to me.
See, the real secret would to be bringing Justin and Lexi and you all at the same time. We all go,
and Travis,
and then Justin,
and Travis goes,
and Travis and Justin would basically have to save us all the time.
Travis, Justin, and Lexi could be like the mediators and just be like, no,
we would ruin their vacation.
There's more of us than you guys. There we
Justin,
go.
we would ruin your vacation. Basically, would be.
Hey, you know what? The funny thing is, again, for people who don't know, because I'm a Latter-day Saint, I don't drink, I don't gamble, I don't smoke, I don't do any, illicit sexual stuff like other people advertising. Oh my gosh,
why did you go to Vegas then?
Because there is other stuff to do.
You can see
in Vegas.
shows, and there's a Lego museum.
Which we actually did go to a show as well. Have either of you two heard of a guy named Terry Fader by chance?
I have not.
Probably.
So, America's Got Talent. This was a guy who won that competition
is he the puppet
10
guy?
years ago.
Oh, yes, I have
guy.
heard of him.
Yeah, so we went to his show on the last night there at Vegas, and it was fun. It's one of the things, like, at least there are things to do in Vegas that don't require that kind of stuff. There's always that kind of stuff. There's the music shows, like freaking Donny Osmond performs literally every day there in Vegas, pretty much. You get, I don't know, Vegas, that's the thing. It is really, really cool. Just know where to go. Like, if you have a plan to go look for everything, and definitely bring some money, because
it's really fucking expensive. My husband and I actually did also honeymoon. We did a mini moon in Vegas. And
we did too.
We stayed at the Venetian, and we went on the gondola ride, and we got Wolfgang Puck and Emeril Lagasse room service. And then, then we went to Madame Tussauds the next day, which was really cool.
Madame Tussauds,
and then my husband came down with a 103-degree fever, and
I don't like fevers.
And so the rest of our mini moon was like spent with him on his deathbed. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, my sister had the exact same thing with her honeymoon, because they were supposed to go on a cruise, and literally after the wedding, she came down with like a huge vomiting thing going on. So she was like, "Oh man, I can't even enjoy my cruise." But
if Nick and I went to Vegas, I don't know if we would survive. I really don't.
No, we're bad influences on each other.
So you guys would be The Hangover, but a realistic version of that.
Well,
last time we were just at Austin, her hometown, and like I blacked out and ate crickets. I don't think Vegas would be a good fit for us.
Well, technically that was the first night we met, Nick.
Well, I don't remember eating crickets, but I did Instagram myself saying that here's a cricket that I'm about to eat, so one can only assume that I ate it.
They were food grade barbecue flavored crickets, Nick. I don't know why you're so mad about the crickets.
And they served it at that one place that closes down barbecue every day. So what was that one?
Franklin's.
Frank's?
Yeah.
Right.
Franklin's, yeah. It's the newest thing on the menu.
And you've been to Austin and stayed with me 2 times since, and okay, we've blacked out, but we've not eaten crickets.
No, the cricket. I don't know. It was because they weren't available, or like we didn't look hard enough. But
I could have found you crickets if you wanted them.
I don't. Maybe drunk me really likes crickets. I don't think sober me likes them, but
they were delicious. And Justin stayed with me, and I have not got him blackout drunk either.
Well, that's a failure on your part.
No, but I did see you when you blacked out drunk. So
no, you probably did.
Well, remember that where we went to go party with the whole thing with Chris and the double toasted thing, and then you came back and you were like, you guys like I was worried because I was supposed to go to like the morning event and that stuff, and I was stuck because you guys were my only ride, and you guys were like passed out in your room. So I'm just like, I don't want to be rude. I'm the guest.
Because we took you.
Time to grab that Uber.
Yeah,
Lyft.
No, but we did get up in time to take him to the double toasted brunch and to the airport. You got it.
No, I know. I feel bad when I'm guesting over at other people's places because I'm just like, well, I don't want to disturb them. It is their house.
No,
so
next time just be like, hey, Patience, get the F up, bitch.
You know, like when Patience has guests over and she calls them a bitch after they go to bed.
That's only Travis.
Travis gets special
I know what
treatment.
To expect if Patience ever comes to my place. There we go. All right.
Man, I don't have a fun honeymoon story to
That's
tell.
Okay.
I did spend a weekend in Wisconsin Dells with a woman once, and she was married, but not to me.
But I'm bummed.
What? We all make mistakes.
Oh.
Now, did you know that before or after?
I knew. Yeah.
Have you not met Nick before? He loves married women.
No, Patience, that is incorrect. Married women love me. It's an important distinction.
I'm sorry.
I feel like this is an inverse of that Adam Sandler movie, that Just Go With It, with like the way they use the rings to get people kind of thing. It's like, my wife is so bad, but, I just need a
Okay, so the last 2 times, I didn't know until after, okay? Which I know sounds pretty bad, but... Just saying, like, it's not 100% on me.
With your relationship history, I feel like the first thing you should ask a woman when she's interested in you is, are you married?
Well...
I mean, you shouldn't have to ask because there should be an obvious clue.
Nick needs to, though. Yeah, he needs to.
What? She had gloves on. I couldn't see. I thought she was doing a Thriller cosplay. Who knows? Anyway... I do know what you mean about the food, though, Justin, because I remember eating at Papados at Austin one time, and nothing ruins a good time like getting the check back, and you're like, oh, man, I'm having such a great... Oh, whoa, hey, wait a second.
Okay.
No, seriously, I've had so many situations like that in the past too. Like, have you guys ever eaten at the Space Needle in Seattle?
No. I've eaten at the pier in Seattle, which is just as ridiculous.
Oh, that was ridiculous too. But so we ate at the Space Needle because my grandfather, who was alive at the time, rest in peace, he took us there for a big meal, and it was nice, the dinner overall. But then there came the dessert. And I've seen some ridiculous desserts before, but they gave us this thing where they say it's like the best ice cream in all of Seattle, and it's apparently something that costs by itself like $15, $17, and we're like, we better expect like a freaking sundae, like a giant freaking mountainous sundae. Mm-hmm. It turns out it's like a scoop and a half of ice cream on top of this giant freaking glass dish that they twist it and dry ice stuff comes out, you know, like the little mist stuff. But by itself, it's just a freaking scoop of kind of crappy ice cream. And we're just like... Are you serious? You think this is the best ice cream and you pay for the show more than the food?
Yeah, once you start doing math in your head of like how much each ounce of food costs per, like, just like, you're like, yeah, I made a mistake here. Like, nothing will ruin a good time more than financial math. You're like, oh, wait a minute, try to look at the check and like make it like, maybe if I look at it long enough, it'll come out different. But yeah, that is real fun. I am so glad you got to enjoy Vegas. Patience, I'm glad you will enjoy Vegas soon.
Hell yeah, I will. I'll enjoy it in a way that Jay-Z and Lexi never will be able to.
Okay.
Hey, I mean, we got to enjoy it in some other ways too. But
it was your wedding night. I hope so. I'm going with my sister.
Oh, cool. Well, hey, where are you guys
we're
staying
at?
Like,
the
what
Luxor.
Hotel? Ooh,
well, my sister
awesome.
is a gambler, so she gets comped rooms.
Oh, yeah, one of those.
So
okay.
She bought us a suite. It's going to be me and her, and it's going to be girl. Well, when she's not gambling, I'll be like at the pool, I guess.
Oh, I dated a girl with a gambling addiction once. It was not fun.
I can only imagine. I mean, I've like not ever gambled, but I've gotten into those things where like you start to like especially like carnival games or those kind of things where they're just pretty much sinkholes for money and that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I know if I ever gambled, I would have a really bad habit to
I was a carny once. Yeah, I was a carny for like 3 weeks. When I was...
Go on.
Yeah, for when I was 16. Okay, so here's what I want to say about carnies. No offense to any carnies that are... I don't know how many carny listeners you have, Nick.
Nick's audience is actually 50% carny, so watch what you say.
They do have small hands that smell like cabbage. But, okay, so I ran the booth that you throw darts at the balloons.
Oh, I love that game.
Well, first of all, we specifically use darts that are plastic tipped that are not sharp. And we also blow the balloons up to a specific, it's not PSI. That doesn't sound right. But air per, mass.
Oh, they're slightly deflated, so they're harder to pop.
Yeah, so they're harder to pop. And, I mean, it's a total scam. And then my third caveat is that everyone there is on meth.
Yeesh.
Oh. Ooh.
Okay. I like how we escalate, like, it's a real bummer of a place there. We cheat with the darts and everything, and then there's the meth.
And then there's, like the huge meth problem. So I was 16, and I was, like, just getting into the, carny underground, I guess you could say.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say that, like, I was 16, I was just getting into the meth game.
No.
It was my original Heisenberg moment.
That's one of the drugs I've never done. But, yeah.
Yeah, the booth that says the crystal persuasion, that means something entirely different.
I stayed away from the meth. But, everyone there is on meth. And they also, this is just a side caveat, they also eat concessions every single day when they do eat. So, I mean, they live off of a diet of, like, subsisting of corn dogs and fountain soda. So,
I believe it.
I want everyone to take in the beginning of this podcast into consideration when I say this. I find that ungodly depressing.
It was, and they want wanted me to travel with them. It was the state fair. And I was like, I thought about it. And then I was like, oh, I'll definitely get addicted to meth. I will probably end up, like becoming one of those like meth head prostitutes down the line. So I did not. I was smart enough to like not go traveling with the carnival.
Well, I'm glad the saddest story I've ever heard had a good ending for you. Yeesh.
Yeah, no, I worked at a state fair once, and that was plenty enough. Like, thankfully, it was a decent state fair, and the only thing I had to do was help, those like kind of like pigs in a blankets kind of things they serve at state fairs?
A hot dog wrapped in like pastry, yeah. They're delicious.
Yeah, except in this one, it was an Idaho State Fair, so we had a hot dog that was stuck into a potato. Essentially, so you're eating a potato dog.
Come on.
But thankfully, it wasn't. That was the worst that I had to experience in there. Like, it was all sanitary, it was all to regulations. So thankfully, no crazy meth carnies that I met there.
Just when you thought you couldn't tell a more depressing story, you had to bring up the hot dog and the potato. Ugh, sounds terrible.
That sounds like the setup of a really bad joke.
There's got to be an Irish joke somewhere in there.
Was there cheese on it?
I can't. Yeah.
I guess you could.
You add in a beer and it's an Irish 3-course meal.
That
was racist.
This is a very personal podcast.
Okay, so first of all, I'm Scotch-Irish, and I give you a pass on that. I accept all potato jokes.
Oh, I'm glad you gave me a pass from all Irish people.
Yeah, I do.
Let me work on my Scottish jokes. I would say that that's the saddest deep fried food I've ever heard of, but that is not true. At our deep fair around here, we started doing deep fried butter.
I was gonna say Wisconsin is notorious for your deep fried carnival foods.
Look, when you're deep frying butter, like sticks of butter, like you have culinarily given up. That is like food. Like if you're eating that, I want to be like, okay, you are done with life. Like there's nothing you won't put in your body. Like you have no dignity anymore. And that's me saying that.
That makes me think of that episode of The Simpsons where Homer makes that waffle thing where he cooks a waffle and then wraps it around a stick of butter. You're just like, ugh.
Okay, so I used to know a person who I won't call out. I doubt they're listening to us, but
Jeff
from Rage Select. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure he eats fried butter.
This person would I would catch them in the middle of the night eating saltines, and they would use Land O'Lakes margarine as dip.
Oh,
so
yikes.
I've been there.
Saltines dip, just scooping out margarine as if it was queso. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
So bland salted crackers to scoop bland, margarine.
Yeah.
See, that was me.
Wow.
Only the crackers were birthday cake flavored Oreos, and the margarine was a smooth, creamy peanut butter.
Oh, that sounds amazing, actually.
I mean, I've done that with tortilla chips and sour cream, but that at least is a little bit flavorful. So,
it sounds good, but it really is a food you only are eating at 3 a.m. and unbelievably and you're eating it basically crying to yourself.
Oh, sure. I've had those I hate myself moments when I eat like that.
Okay, maybe one more.
Oh, thinking of which, one little wedding thing. I don't know why, but I got super, I don't know if I was anxious or nervous or something like that, but the day before, the 2 days before I went to my wedding, I was ravenously starving the entire time. I guess I was just burning through calories or something, because I went down to St. Louis because I flew out from there. And I went to a St. Louis barbecue place, which was delicious, by the way, first of all. But it was one of those ones that you do cafeteria style, where you go through and they select the meats and the sides and the stuff they give to you. And when I started, I couldn't stop. I'm just like, that, give it to me.
Groomzilla over here. Just give me it all.
I mean, cornbread, ribs, brisket. I had a slice of apple pie with that also. I was just give it to me, give me all of it.
And see, one of the waiters, they're like, sir, could you no, he got one of the other waiter's fingers. Don't go there. Leave him be. Leave him.
Some people handle stress in various ways. Sometimes it's through panicking.
That's true.
I love it. So speaking of handling stress, how is everyone doing with the post Robin Hood syndrome? Because we did watch we did do the commentary.
I didn't think this podcast would get more depressing, but
I just wanted everyone's general feelings now that you've had some time to distance yourselves.
Well, admittedly, we also had a bit of an issue on our end where the video was stuttering a bit, so that didn't help with the watching it. But the stuff I was able to see very clearly sucked.
Oh yeah, it's quite the sight to behold. What about you, Patience?
I mean, I'll stand by what I said at the end of the commentary. Like, that was a fucking terrible movie, and I'm probably gonna watch it again.
Right? Like that's exactly how I feel about it too.
I think I'll like it. If I watch it like 3 or 4 more times, I'm probably gonna be like, oh my god, Robin Hood's the best thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, I have a strong immediate love-hate relationship with that movie.
Y'all have to remember that my favorite movie is Congo.
Mm-hmm. God, I love Congo.
That says so much about you.
That's my favorite movie in the whole entire world. Is
that why you keep telling me to stop eating your sesame cake? I stopped eating it months ago, Patience. Stop yelling at me.
Can you do the Tim Curry fakey Eastern accent, Mr.
Oh, whatever his Russian kind of sort of Ukraine accent is.
I travel the world doing good.
Do this. The gorillas, they are the secrets. You must take me. I will finance whole mission.
It is the open eye.
It is the open eye. The open eye.
It's
Tim Curry is a great actor, but accents are not his strong suit.
This movie is fucking okay, so we did we not? Yeah, we did. We did a commentary, didn't we not? Nick.
I think it was one of us did a commentary for it.
But were you on that?
No, I was on the Deep Blue Sea one.
Oh.
Yeah, that was when you were on. Because you guys were very drunk on that one.
No, we weren't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never been drunk
in my life. We weren't as drunk as for that one. We were for the 47 meters down review afterwards, in which we kept drinking.
That was the. Oh no, okay, I take that back. That was the one you guys were super drunk.
Wow. Oh, that's the night you ate crickets.
Yes, that was the night I ate crickets, and that's a fun. I've never listened to a podcast before where I legit don't remember it. Like, it's like, oh, that's fun. I actually get to listen. It's like a new podcast that I'm like a guest host on.
Well, it's funny, too, because I remember when you recorded that review of My Hero Academia with me, which you also were a little bit tipsy on, but I didn't notice that until afterwards. You pointed out, like, hey, sorry if I sounded like I was slurring my words. I'm like, oh, well, at least you perform well while inebriated under those kind of reviews.
Oh, sure. You get, like, a performance high. Like, I do that at conventions all the time when I'm fucked up. Like, you get like, what comedians call, like, a performance 15, where you have enough energy to get through your 15-minute set. And then you get through, and then you crash after.
Oh, so y'all met me.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of Patience, I wanted to talk to you about Us real quick, the Jordan Peele movie.
Oh gosh, we're gonna actually talk about stuff. Okay.
Only specifically because I wanted to talk to you about a specific moment that made me think of Us. Which was...
Okay, so is this a spoiler moment?
No, it's not a spoiler moment. This is just a quick little thing.
Okay.
It's the one character, I forget her name, the actress that's playing her, but they're on the beach and they basically goes like, I think it's vodka o'clock, and I'm like, I think...
Yeah. First,
I think I said that to Patience one time.
Elizabeth Moss's character, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot it was
so that's so funny that you had mentioned it, because when I was doing the highly suspect reviews of Us the other night, I mentioned that moment. I was like, oh my god, I felt like that she was me. And when she said vodka o'clock, and Chris just looked at me, he's like, you mean whiskey o'clock? And I was like, yeah, that's definitely it.
I know I felt seen. I felt seen for sure.
I mean, that was totally... And then, but at the same time, I do want to say that this movie is an incredible sophomoric effort from... Not sophomoric, but yeah, that's right. Sophomoric effort from Jordan Peele. But this, I don't want people going in to expect that this is another Get Out, because this is a completely different genre of horror film than Get Out was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, where everyone's just like, oh yeah, don't go in expecting to see Get Out in this movie, which I'm glad. I like to see that it's not just going to be the same movie.
It's a little more abstract.
Yeah, I was going to say psychedelic.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. It's still good, but it's not as finessed as Get Out was. Get Out has this beautiful, like, sultry and sensual quality to it, and this is like really more like a stab to the brain.
Yeah, I love the
okay, because oh, so great.
No, I love Lupita Nyong'o in it.
Oh my god!
And all the action.
Everyone thinks she's great in this
amazing.
movie, so.
If she doesn't get at least a nod from the Academy next year, I will be shocked.
I don't know. We hope that with Toni Collette from Hereditary, and that didn't
That's
happen.
True.
Dude, I watched Hereditary the other week. That movie's fucking awesome.
Right? Yeah, that movie's great.
Like, that movie is like the new Exorcist for me. That fucking movie kicks ass. But yeah, I was just excited because like I'm so late to the ball and I had no one to talk to about it. Like, guys, have you seen? Yes, we've all seen Hereditary. Like, but it's great. Yeah, we all know it's great.
I will have any excuse to talk about Hereditary, especially because it's funny when you see these new, very jilted and like, how would you say, they're very jaded audience these days, where they're like, Hereditary's not that scary. It's like, why? Because it didn't go up to your face and go, hoogity throughout most of it, It's like, yeah, it's a different type of horror movie, and I'm assuming, I can't say this true, I'm assuming Us is trying to do more of that kind of like, it's more about the chills and the outright jump scares kind of thing.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of scares, but it's very...
Us is it's very much its own beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been having a hard time. Everyone's been asking me about it, and I've been having a hard time describing it because it's just, I don't have anything to compare it to.
Look, it's on the spectrum. It's beyond Get Out in terms of abstractness, but it's before Suspiria.
Yeah.
Like oh wait, the new Suspiria or the old Suspiria?
New Suspiria.
Oh, I said the old Suspiria, but it's
well, either way.
Yeah.
Like the old Suspiria is also really fucked up and weird, but like the new one was the one I was immediately thinking of. So, and I like this movie. It's not as good as Get Out.
No,
it doesn't need to be though. That's fine. I feel like the first two acts I'm like really into it. And then the third act comes around, and I leaned over to Travis as we were watching it. I'm like, I think I'm lost. I don't understand what's happening.
Well, see,
that's what everybody else
That's the funny thing, like, where I felt like Get Out, where I'm like, I like the first two acts of Get Out a lot, but then there's that big twist of what everything is going on in that movie. And it's funny because I thought I was the only one who thought that way, but Lexi actually just watched that the other night because we're getting ready to watch Us tomorrow, I think. And she felt almost exactly the same way. I'm like, wait, that's what's going on in the movie? And I kind of wasn't crazy about that decision. I mean, it's still a good movie overall, but I'm assuming Us must be trying to go in something like similar kind of abstract, crazy route for that.
It goes in a really weird way.
It's just funny you should say that, because I liked Get Out because once it reveals what's happening, I'm like, holy shit, that makes the rest of this movie make so much more sense. Oh my god.
And see, that's the thing with me where I'm like, that feels like it, because again, I won't say what for anyone who hasn't seen Get Out, which shame on you if you haven't, but that's the thing where it's like, I felt like it was much more grounded up to that point, and then when they did this crazy, ludicrous twist of what was actually happening, I'm just like,
oh, then you're not gonna like Us at all.
You're gonna hate Us.
Well, see, the thing, I'm not against ludicrous twists happening. I mean, I watch Gotham, for heaven's sake. Of course, ludicrous twists happen all the time in that show.
Well, it's funny because Us also is pretty grounded, except for the, like, the whole copies thing that's happening you can see in the trailer.
Doppelgangers.
Yeah, the doppelgangers. And you're like, so the whole movie you're like, okay, so what are these things? Like, you're like, is this supernatural? Is this another sci-fi thing? Like, Get Out? Like, you're trying to figure this out here?
And then the big reveal is just like, what?
The big reveal, like,
I can't wait.
The more I think about it, I'm like, the more questions I have. Like, I feel like I need to sit down with Jordan Peele and be like, okay, right from the third act, I need you to walk me through this, because some of this is not adding up to me.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. That's how I felt with Get Out, where I'm just like, I get why this was being foreshadowed, but then that leads to a lot of other questions about what just happened.
You're going to hate this movie, Justin.
Yeah.
Well, see, and again, I didn't hate Get Out for that. I was just saying, like, where everyone was talking about how it was like a masterpiece or Get Out. I'm just like, no, it's a very, very good movie. I just was like shy of calling it great.
Man, I would say it is a masterpiece. I'm not sure exactly the disconnect you had there. I thought that the movie wrapped up. I thought it had a great ending. This one, I thought like has an okay ending, and then its final twist, I think, is pretty stupid.
I did hear someone said that the last 30 seconds was one of those ones they're like, wait a minute.
It's basically putting a hat on a hat. You're like, It's like, wait, why? What does that change about anything? Like,
that's a really good allegory, because I felt like a lot of us. Now, granted, we did it for highly suspect reviews. The lowest score was an 8. We all got 8.5s. The rest of us did. So, it's a great movie, and we're all super stoked about it. But the more you think about it, the more you're like, wow, that's kind of weird. Why would someone do that? There's a lot of inconsistencies in the story that you just overlook because it's a interesting movie. It's a concept I have never seen before. I literally have never seen, and I am the horror movie expert on this panel right now. Never seen anything like it before in my life. So it's excellent. It's entertaining. It's weird.
Yeah, I agree.
It's weird. That's all I can say.
It's still shot great. He's still a great director. Everything, the visual storytelling is still top notch.
No, I can tell that even from the trailers that somehow Jordan Peele, for being a guy who's done sketch comedies forever, seems to have a really good eye for visual storytelling.
Man, his director style is fucking great. It's like last time I saw directing this good this early in a career was Ben Affleck's Gone Baby Gone and The Town.
That too, and then freaking Bradley Cooper with Star is Born.
Yeah, it feels like these, at least when you're an actor, it feels like you at least get to look at the scripts and get an eye for what's happening on set, so maybe they use that as an experience, but like...
Well, see, and that's my thing, because you're not guaranteed to have actors become good directors, because sometimes you get people who knock it out of the park. Like, last year we had, 5 people who made their the directing debuts from actors and stuff, and at least a good chunk of them were really, really good. I mean, freaking Paul Dano made his directorial debut last year in a movie called Wildlife, and that was surprisingly good, for me. But then you get occasionally the other people who are like, oh yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio directed a Western recently, and that was not good.
Oh yeah,
and let's not forget the casting, because casting is so important, and this movie is so casted in an immaculate
Duke,
way.
How much work did they have to put into Winston Duke to make him look like a bitch?
I know.
I love there's this scene where he tries to put bass in his voice, and he still comes off as nerdy Chappelle version, Chappelle's impression of a white guy. Hey, the police are on their way, so I need you to get out of here. And even I was like, I thought Winston Duke was intimidating in Black Panther, but even I was like, give me that goddamn bat.
Right.
We both know you're not going to do anything with it.
I was actually surprised. There's this moment with Elizabeth Moss that just blew us away. At where I can't give it away. But there's this moment with Elizabeth Moss that's just stunning. And
does it involve a scream?
It does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I figured that was it.
Yeah, it's holy shit. It breaks up the whole entire movie for me. But yeah, otherwise I loved it. Did you give it what kind of rating did you give it, Nick?
Oh, we haven't talked about it on mic yet, so
okay,
I guess
mind.
I'll give it I would give it a 4 out of 5 if I could cut the last 30 seconds off of it. But honestly, I did come away a little sour after that 30 seconds. That felt stupid and pretentious, and I feel like you're getting a little... Everything else was really cool. That last 30 seconds felt M. Night Shyamalan-y to me, and I'm like, you need to steer away from that. That's will fuck up your career if you do shit like that.
Okay.
I give it 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I think it's really solid and great. I wish that it made as much sense as Get Out by the end of it, because during the last climax, during this whole cool fight scene that is happening, this great choreographed and directed final battle, all I'm thinking about is trying to make this final reveal make sense to me. And I'm still working it out in my brain, and and it's distracting me from the end of the movie. And Get Out was not like that. Get Out, I got it immediately, and I was on board for his struggle and his ultimate. I was rooting for his victory the entire time of the third act. So yeah, I would say another solid effort from Jordan Peele. Really thinking that he's showing himself as a great director. I can't wait to see his Twilight Zone. series.
Oh my god, I am so excited for Twilight Zone.
I'm curious. I mean, the trailer I saw for it was pretty good, so yeah.
But yeah, that was that's what I did this morning as far as movies and stuff. We saw the trailers beforehand. I saw the Avengers Endgame trailer beforehand too.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, have you seen the trailers that came out this week? We had a lot of high-profile trailers that came out.
Dude, we had the Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood come out.
John Wick Chapter 3 came out with another trailer.
Yeah, with Halle Berry as a dog woman now.
Yeah, and apparently they showed a poster where it's like, apparently Jason Mantzoukas is going to be a bad guy in that one too. I'm like, wait, what? Jason Mantzoukas?
Awesome.
Yeah, he's another
What's up,
assassin.
jerks?
Dude, the fact that they did a Matrix line in this trailer, the guns, lots of guns. I'm
Lots
like,
of
please
guns.
let everyone just do their favorite catchphrases. Come on, seriously.
Well, they already got Morpheus in there.
As if they couldn't get more Matrix in this movie.
So I'm excited for that.
The Stranger Things 3 trailer came out this week.
See, I missed that one too. I didn't catch that one yet.
Oh, it was really good. Like, I mean, you can tell just from that trailer, like, just a few shots alone, they pumped a lot of money into this new season. So.
Great.
Yeah. And freaking Carrie Elways is in it, too, which I love.
Wow.
Yes, Carrie Elways.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've been watching, there's been a lot of trailers for the What We Do in the Shadows new television show it's on FX, right, Justin?
Yes, which, did you get a chance to see that at South by?
I did not get to see the pilot. They showed like the first 3 episodes, I think, at South by, but I did get to go to, they had a pop-up vampire library.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Like basically, I mean, it started as soon as the sun went down, they had all of these like vampire libraries all over town, that were blowing out fog and smoke, and you didn't really quite know where they were, but you kind of had to follow the clues and figure out where they were on your own. So I managed to get to one right before sundown, and basically they just open it up at sundown, and you get to pick out one book. All of them are like vampire themed, of course, but they had some really funny ones, like how to protect your skin with sunscreen and how to cook with garlic, and like, funny ones. But each of them had a bookmark in it with a chance to win $500. So that was really cool. So it was just like a fun little, like, scavenger hunt, find the libraries, and, get there in time to like do a cool thing. So it was just...
Well, and I know... Oh, and I know that Chris and Martin saw the first episode, I think. So, if you guys want to listen to that, on oneofus.net, we do have a review up for What We Do in the Shadows' pilot.
Yeah, I believe they did see the pilot. So, I've been watching I cannot wait to see this because I loved the film. I loved the film.
Oh, I saw the film the first time last month, and it's great. Loved it.
You just barely saw it last month?
That's the thing. I wanted to watch it with a group. I didn't want to watch it by myself because I know, like, comedies like that are better with other people, in my experience.
You're crazy. But
hey, I'm sorry that I like social experiences in movies. Just saying.
You're crazy. But I haven't watched any other trailers. I generally try and avoid trailers, even though I really wanted to watch the John Wick 3 one today.
Yeah, I can't avoid trailers because it's part of my job.
Your job.
So
yeah.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I've seen, like, that's the thing, I like watching trailers up to a point. Like, I know there's some trailers that just give you away too much. Like, especially anything that Sony makes on a whole, except for that Tarantino trailer, usually they'll just spoil everything in their movies. I'm just like, seriously, can you leave something for me to come up with my own imagination with? Come on, seriously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there've been some good trailers. There's been some good ones out lately. So for anyone interested, just check them out. They're really cool.
One of the other cool things I did at South by was I did get to go to the Us art installation where they...
I saw your video of that.
we filmed a video of us being good guys versus us being bad guys, and it's on my prof.patience Instagram if any of you want to check it out. But yeah, it's me and my husband Carlos, and it was really fun. Like, we got to see all of the original artwork that Jordan Peele had commissioned by artists all over the world. So all of the artwork that he has in the movie is all like real deal stuff. And it was really cool. And they had posters for each piece of art. So I took one of them each home with me. So
nice.
That was the only other really cool South by thing that we did, other than drink too much.
Yeah, no, I mean, over here, we haven't been doing a whole lot of new stuff. I mean, we're still unpacking everything in the apartment. Lexi got a lot of stuff shipped up here, and we got a lot of cool stuff. We did start playing this one game today, and I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I've never played it in full lately. Nick, are you familiar with Until Dawn?
Yes.
All right, so... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's a real fun game. Me and Travis played it. We made a whole day of it playing it.
Oh, yeah. No, Patience, I don't know if you've played this. It's a really great horror game that Larry Fessenden wrote.
Oh, no.
If you know that guy.
No kidding. That's insane.
Yeah. No, so it's a great one. And apparently he's just teaming up with the studio because they came out with another game that people didn't know about, but I kind of discovered on a whim. It's called Hidden Agenda. Have you heard about this one, Nick?
Hidden Agenda. No, wait. Nope. I'm thinking of a different one. I think of one on a boat.
Well, actually, that's the new one coming up. They're doing like another game that's set with like a ghost ship kind of thing, which sounds really cool. Yeah, but so this one here is a small game. It's like really, really brief because I'm assuming it was like an experiment to prep for another game to do. But Fessenden also wrote this as a cop drama where you're trying to find out about a mad serial bomber who they think they captured the right suspect, but then another copycat killer seems to be coming out years later, and it's another choice-driven, story-driven game. But the gimmick with it is that it's designed to be a party game because you can only play it with your cell phones.
Oh.
Yeah, so basically what you do is you set up the game, and then you sync your cell phones or your tablets or whatever to the game itself, and it's up to you guys to either do a cooperative mode or a competitive mode where you try to compete against each other to make the choices and decide who comes out on top as the driver of the story in the game.
Oh, okay.
That sounds really cool, man. That sounds really interesting.
Oh yeah, and the game is really cheap right now. I think I bought it like $20 when it first came out. So yeah, it's a cheap game. It's only so long because I mean they designed it to be like a movie essentially. So it's about 2, 3, maybe 4 if you stretch it out hours altogether. But it's one of those ones where it's kind of like, hey, you want a fun, trippy little action thriller kind of thing that Larry Fessenden wrote? Then by all means, it's totally worth checking out. Kind of thing.
Yeah, Patience, if you haven't played Until Dawn, you would love Until Dawn.
And that's the thing, I would say, though, it's a game that requires patience. Other than you, yes, but it's a game that's a slow build game. Because they really want to get you, because they lull you into security, like, oh, it's just another teen, horror movie slasher film. And then the twist happens, you're like, oh, okay, you got my attention now.
I am into it. I like it.
Yeah.
No, and actually, it's even so cool, because, well, you know what, no, I'm not going to say, there is a cameo in the game as well, I won't say who, you can probably guess, but it's really cool when that happens, you're just like, oh, that guy!
Well, I know that was the game that made me think that, like, oh, man, they really fucked up that guy, because that was the first time I saw Rami Malek, and I was like, oh, man, they really fucked up that guy's face, his uncanny valley, his eyes are way too big, and then you see Rami Malek in real life, and you're like, oh shit!
Yeah, no, that's the funny thing when you watch it, you're just like, oh yeah, no, they rendered it exactly. That's the funny thing where
never mind.
They play that trope like 80s slasher films where it's like, yeah, they're clearly all 30-year-old actors playing teenagers. But at least with CG effects, you can kind of cheat around that, like, okay, you can make them look a little younger.
Nice.
Because you're thinking that Hayden Panettiere is the main actress in that one. You're like, yeah, Hayden Panettiere is definitely not young anymore.
And too bad she didn't bring her invincibility over from Heroes, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, she's not playing a cheerleader in that one, so boo.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, too, like, I saw the new Toy Story 4 trailer.
Oh, God.
Here's the funny thing. Like, I hated the first 2 teasers that came out for this movie because they were just so, like, juvenile, I felt, or at least just kind of crass. I'm almost completely turned around now with this trailer. I'm like, oh, you have kind of won my attention again.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking, like, I should really start watching some stuff to get my mind off of my depression and everything. So I'll watch the Toy Story 4 trailer, and suddenly I find Forky, who is having an existential crisis about his own existence and why his cruel creator even made him in the first place, and that he would rather be dead.
No, Nick, that's the thing. The whole time I watched that trailer, I'm like, oh my gosh, that whole conspiracy theory thing about Toy Story Nick always talks about in the Gotham cast. This is only going to make it worse.
It's right. I'm right, Justin. Look at the evidence is here. Look at it. Forky is an abomination to God.
I didn't even see Toy Story 3. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, like Nick has this whole conspiracy theory laid out about how Toy Story is secretly a religious allegory about all the stuff about existential creationism stuff.
Oh God, I haven't heard the rant.
Look, it's not a conspiracy theory. Alex Jones has conspiracy theories. I have evidence to back this shit up.
Are you Phil Seymour Hoffman and the Master? Like, they are freaking facts.
They're facts. God damn it! Look, okay, so. Obviously, Toy Story 1 is Old Testament versus New Testament in the fact that Woody is no longer the Messiah, the chosen one amongst Andy, his god. He has, he has a Buzz Lightyear to contend with, and then he gets cast out of heaven, Lucifer style, and to find the Old Testament, which is Sid. He's the old god. He's the eye for an eye. Cruel kid with a magnifying glass god, learns his lesson and then, learns to appreciate and never question his creation or appreciation for his god again. Number 2 is all about accepting his mortality and accepting his place as being his existence being finite. And it's all about Toy Story 2 is about accepting death. To the point where Toy Story 3 has them all do that, where they all look at one another and accept their deaths. And so Toy Story 4, I was like, the only thing they could really do is try and have someone play like their new gods or whatever. And oh my God, that's exactly what they did.
Yep.
Forky is an abomination. He should not exist, and he's like some sort of Frankenstein's monster. For
patients who haven't seen it, the idea is that Forky is a spork that the new owner of the toys has created with googly eyes and little those little bendy straw things on the arms. So it's just it's freaky.
He's like every other creation on Rick and Morty, where Mr. Meeseeks hates existing.
And he's being voiced by Buster Bluth from Arrested Development, Tony Hale. Oh my God,
I don't think I'm drunk enough for this, Nick. Seriously.
I'm Mr. Forky. Look at me. Existence is pain.
Dude, they should have got that voice. They should have got Justin Roiland to voice Forky. Look at me.
Come on, Woody. You got to choke up and follow through.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Is he like Job? I mean,
look. He's like Frankenstein's monster or any other creationist thing.
Well,
you
went through the Bible, so I was just.
Yeah, I would, well, not everything's a one-to-one allegory.
Okay.
Well, I think the idea of a cruel god and the mistaken, I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically he's a stand-in for any handicapped person. Why did God create me this way? What? Is it not? Am I thinking about this too deep?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I can't weigh in on this. But
I will say the only other cool thing I found out about the trailer is that Keanu Reeves has a role in the movie. Because you remember that Evel Knievel looking guy that you saw in the trailer, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Keanu Reeves.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
I don't want to
I did not know that.
Change the subject to a completely radically different conversation, but...
Oh, please go ahead.
They did release today that we are getting our Bill and Ted in 3 in 2020
Excellent.
today.
Actually, so that came out, I think, yesterday or the day before the announcement. But
I just saw it today, and I was like... they got pictures and stuff and things, and this is happening.
Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter actually posted a video where they're like, look, we're really excited. Apparently everything is almost ready to finalize making the movie, and it's going to release August 21st next year. So,
there's a lot of revivals that I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to know what happens with Indiana Jones when Harrison Ford is 50 or whatever. I do want to see what Bill and Ted are up to now that they're grown up and like things have not worked out for them.
The thing that made me love it so much is that Keanu Reeves was totally in character in that. He's got that swagger, that Ted swagger that he had from the movies. I'm just like, oh, this is the most live I've ever seen him in like 20 years. I can't
For
wait.
sure. It's the only character he can actually play effectively.
Yeah, the only character that's not just him, just regular version of him.
Okay, so I love Keanu Reeves to the depth of my core just because of how much of an amazing person he is. And John...
I also...
Apparently he's like super genius level intelligent, too.
And just a kind, giving, caring, and tragically, he has had one of the most tragic stories I've ever heard. But, and he's just a great guy. And John Wick is my fucking jam, you guys. But I don't think I've been this excited for a movie in a really long time. Like, I cannot wait to see this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah. No, dude, I am so glad because Lexi has not seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and I cannot wait to show it to her so she can experience it the first time. Because I'm like, oh, you gotta see this. You gotta see this movie.
Gosh.
Man, she doesn't know about Socrates?
No, she doesn't.
Gosh darn it, Lexi. She needs,
Man, she gotta learn about Socrates, man.
Yeah. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and what was the second one? I forget.
You see, here's the thing. Bogus Journey is the second one.
Bogus Journey. Thank you.
I don't like Bogus Journey very much. I don't think it's a very good movie.
It's not as good.
It's not as good.
Yeah, but I will say, even with that, I'm like, yeah, I love Excellent Adventure so much, I would be willing to see a third movie. So.
And it's nice to see Alex Winter getting work again.
Oh, no, that's the funny thing is that he actually has been working. It's just he's not been in front of the camera most of the time. He's been doing a bunch of directing stuff on TV all these years.
Yeah, no one cares.
And that's the problem. Yeah. No, I will say though too, like I am excited too, and the person who's directing this new movie is the guy who did Galaxy Quest.
Oh,
so.
I fucking love Galaxy Quest.
I mean, admittedly, he also did Red 2, which is awful.
Didn't see Red 2.
No,
by Grabthar's hammer, we will be avenged.
Right?
Yes.
Oh my god, Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
So good.
Now, there's been a lot of great news this week. Like, I mean, seriously, I won't spoil it all because we got Breakfast Pub this Sunday, so don't you worry. But there's a lot of stuff that...
Shameless plug.
Hey, I do not make apologies. That is the point of this podcast, so... But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, although I was going to say, I saw 2 bits of casting news today that made me just laugh because I'm just like, no way. So, they're making a new Scooby-Doo movie?
Yes.
So guess who they cast as Fred and Daphne in this movie?
Oh boy. I suppose they're rebooting. They're going for people that are younger. I would say Zac Efron as Fred.
And Emma Stone as Daphne.
You're right about
Zac
Efron.
Oh.
Yeah, I was right?
Holy
shit. Dude, that was a
shit.
shot in the dark. I love yes!
Holy shit.
Yep, Zac Efron is playing Fred, and then Amanda Seyfried is Daphne.
Oh,
that's good. That's good too.
Okay,
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, but then the casting news that I love, so, they're making that live-action Dora the Explorer movie?
Oh, yes, I did know this.
So they put out a poster recently that apparently is legit. There's an actual, thing. It's called like Dora and the Lost City of Gold or something like that. So previously they announced the casting of the fox and the monkey, Swiper and Boots.
Can I say it? Can I say it?
Okay, so I'll say the first one is that Swiper is Benicio del Toro, which you're like, wait. Oh, Benicio del Toro? But please, patience, tell people who is playing Boots the Monkey.
Danny Trejo.
Dora, we gotta get to the...
Boots is hard.
Get the map, Dora.
Machete says get the map.
I'm the map.
It's
Can
an
you
all-star
say
cast, y'all.
disembowel?
Can you say Chicano?
I don't watch children's movies that much, but I'm gonna watch the shit out of this.
Okay, at this point with Danny Trejo and Benicio del Toro, is this a children's movie? I can't tell anymore.
That's a good point.
Like, I'm sure it is. I mean, I think the person who played Dora is that Isabella Moner, the girl from the last Transformers movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I didn't...
Yeah, but I'm like, everything else around it, like, okay, she's fine, she's about the right demographic. Everything else about this movie is confusing the frick out of me.
I mean, maybe it'll be like, the first Spy Kids. Everyone was super into it, even adults. It was kind of like an adult kids movie.
Were we?
Well, I was, whatever.
I mean, the first Spy Kids is cute. It's not great. It's kind of cute kind of thing.
Fun.
Man, even as a kid, I thought Spy Kids was stupid.
Well, see, no, it's not great. It's kind of silly and dumb, but at least the first one tried to have some kind of like balance of that. The second movie and onwards just went full retard pretty much after that. But
Yeah.
Well, I when you're fighting thumb henchmen, I feel like, okay, what spy movie has thumb henchmen in this? What is happening?
I don't know. James Bond has some pretty crazy stuff in his movies. The diamond-powered laser guns and Die Another Day.
Were they giant thumb henchmen? Come on, they didn't have
but
the
apparently
dignity.
there was a literal case of whitewashing where a Korean guy turned himself into a white man to be able to enact his vengeance against the world.
I forgot about Die Another Day. That movie sucks.
Yep. No, but I love it too. I was looking now. It's like apparently the guy directing it is the guy who did the last the last two Muppets movies, James Bobbin, for the Story of the Explorer. And if I remember correctly, Michael Bay is a producer on this film.
Aww. You just
Or okay, maybe not him directly, but I think one of his production companies is involved. So I'm just like, okay, I'm like, that's still weird, but.
Well, I mean, Michael Bay hasn't had the reputation for destroying things that I love, like the Ninja Turtles or anything.
That makes me think, though, did you ever see that parody trailer they made about the Dora the Explorer movie way back in the
Yes.
a few years back? Where it's like, Dora, I haven't seen you since I was these
many. I love it where she's the map is just some guy in an interrogation room and she's fucking him up to try and get information out of him. I'm the map, and then she slams his head into the table like, fuck, tell me where the bomb is. Like, little Jack Bauer on his ass.
Oh, it's great. I can only hope this movie is like, at least, it's definitely not going to be that, but I hope this movie is just, I don't know what to expect. I'm just so shocked, you know?
Well, I mean, for a Michael Bay film, I hope for the Rock level of ridiculousness.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure, like, again, I think he's only, like, barely producer because he did, he discovered this girl, you know, like, he kind of gave her first big break. So I'm like, I'm sure he's like, okay, I'll help get you some right people and to get the money behind the film. But then after that, pretty much, James Bobbin seems like he's totally in control of this one. So it's like, okay, we're gonna get more Fly at the Conchord / Muppet movie than anything
I
else,
would love to see The Rock play Dora the Explorer. That would
No, he's got to play,
amazing.
what's his name? Diego.
Rock plays Diego.
Yes.
There you go.
I could, you know, having seen The Rock in his other children's movie he did back in the day, I could see him being kind of like a Dora the Explorer level actor. So,
Yeah, he would pull it off.
Yeah,
Dora, we gotta go find the map.
Don't forget the eyebrow.
yeah. No, I love it. For the Michael Bay, like I would say that like the casting could make all the difference. I mean, Mark Wahlberg is not the sole thing to blame for the Transformers movies, but he does not help.
Well, that's the thing is, like, first of all, you have bad casting when you make him a guy from Texas with a Boston accent, ?
Hey, I'm a Texas inventor. Like,
Yeah, and an inventor.
I invent shit.
Have we not learned that Mark Wahlberg doesn't do smart guy roles very well?
Hey Dora, say hi to your
I
mother
got a
for
wicked
me.
degree.
I mean, seriously, he played a teacher in The Happening. He played a professor in, what was that movie called? That really terrible, like, The Stranger?
Oh, yeah, that gambling one.
The Gambler. Yeah, The Gambler, when he was in that one. I'm just like, Mark Wahlberg does not do smart roles. He can't be an inventor and he can't be a teacher. You know?
What do you mean you don't believe me? I got a wicked smart degree from MIT. What? That's just how it is. Say
Say hi to your mother for me.
Say hi to your lab tech mother for me.
That's the one thing that Nick taught me about Mark Wahlberg's accent. If you want to do like an impression of Mark Wahlberg, you got to end it with "Say hi to your mother for me." And
But the important thing for Mark Wahlberg impressions
it's the questions.
is one,
The questions.
slight Boston accent, but you have to make everything you say sound like a question. Like it has to up.
No.
It has to.
Yeah,
It's the
that's true.
up lilt at the very end of the very end, and then you finish it off with "Say hi to your mother for me."
So
Like-
where you going, Mark? What you doing? Yeah, I'm talking to myself in the mirror, but whatever. Say hi to your mother
Keep
for me.
on rolling, keep on rolling. Oh my
No, it's
gosh,
fun
that-
if you like. It's great when you do the other scripts of other famous movies and stuff. Like I like to do the Princess Bride of like, oh, hey, you can take my word as a Spaniard. You can tell from my accent. You know, you will
Go
reach
ahead
the top.
and dream of big, large women.
You will. You're using the baguette's defense. Oh, that's great.
We are talking a lot about Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, well, just one more quick thing about Mark Wahlberg, and I'm going to petition. I'm going to petition you for this, Nick. Is the next time you go to a con and you do a script reading, I really, really, really need you to do Highlander, and I need you to do it. One of them as Mark Wahlberg, either
the Kurgan.
Do Sean Connery's role as Mark Wahlberg.
I was going to say Ramirez, but the Kurgan would be good too.
Hey! If your head comes off your body, that's the game, man. That's all there is to it. I tell you what, you listen to me. Listen to me in my beautiful Spanish, but yet somehow Egyptian accent. Yeah, explain to me how that makes sense.
Say hi to your mother.
But I also kind of sound Scottish. What's
I give you my
happening
word
here?
as a Spaniard. Oh man! Can you believe that Mark Wahlberg's an Oscar-nominated actor?
There can only be one. That's what I'm told. I think like that's. I mean, it's not for sure, but I feel like there can only be one.
Yeah, I still can't believe Mark Wahlberg's an Oscar-nominated actor at this point. So,
well, I mean, we all have our good days and bad.
I mean, he was very good in The Departed. I don't know if he was Oscar worthy, but it's like, yeah, he was very good in that movie.
Well, The Departed is basically him playing a Boston hard bitten nose cop or whatever. Like it's the role he was born to play.
Yeah.
Like that's like we give awards for Benedict Cumberbatch playing a British asshole. Like it's like, oh yeah, what a stretch.
I just want poor Leo, who did not get. Well, he got nominated, but did not win.
Leo?
Hey,
no,
Leo
won an Oscar.
Bum about that Oscar. You want to look at mine?
Not for The Departed. Yeah.
Well, that was a weird year because they were trying to campaign Leo for a bunch of stuff, but they decided to choose him in Blood Diamond over The Departed, which I'm like, I don't know if I consider Blood Diamond to be better acting.
I don't know. Blood Diamond rocked my world.
No, Blood Diamond's good. I'm just saying, like, they're two very different performances. So would you say that he was better in The Departed or Blood Diamond for that one?
He's better in The Departed.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I think
okay. I
like Blood Diamond a lot better than I like The Departed.
Okay, I can't go with you there, but
yeah. But we all know how terrible my taste in movies are.
Hey, I will say this, like, I mean, Leo and Jimon Hansu together were great in that movie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's
Fuck yeah.
Jimon Hansu, sorry, now I'm just rambling about stuff. Like, give this guy some better roles to do than just the big dude who screams all the time, because that's literally all he plays now in every movie they cast him in. Just, who?
I did like we got to see him back in Captain Marvel or whatever. Like, okay, prequel, let's get whoever we some side characters we all liked. Hey, Jimon Hansu, you doing anything?
Yeah, it's like, wait, liked? Okay, get some side characters that we vaguely remember from one tagline.
Dude, he gets the little he does, his character is really funny.
Okay, I can't wait. I that's the thing, like, I've been warned by people, even Lexi, she saw it actually for her bachelorette night. She went to go see Captain Marvel with her bridesmaids. And it's one of the things where I'm like, I'm kind of looking forward to watching it, but I'm not eager to watch it. You know, I'm just like, okay, I can kind of, like, it feels like when I went to go try and watch, like, Guardians 2, where I'm just like, okay, I'll see it when I see it kind of thing. You know?
Everyone's freaking out about it. It's on its way to make as much money as any of the solo Marvel movies, and in my opinion, it's as good as any of the solo Marvel movies that are basically stepping stones until we tell the real stories.
Well,
like
that's the thing. Is like, from what I've heard, there's not a lot of connective tissue until like the very end of that movie, right?
Right. No, there's, and I'll tell you what, the only movies I consider really great that are the solo, like the origin movies, is basically Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that's the only one I find like transcends. Otherwise, it's like Doctor Strange is pretty good, Iron Man's pretty good.
I would say first Iron Man is the best of those solo development movies, because I'm like, Guardians was fine. Like I'm on that field where I'm like, I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't love it like everyone else seems to, but...
Wow, so you're not excited that James Gunn is back at all, huh?
No, I'm on the side that said that Guardians 2 was trash, so...
Right. Okay. Well, we vehemently disagree there, but...
yeah, sorry.
I'm pretty sure I can't be friends with you anymore, Jay-Z.
No, you know what you've done, Justin. You've besmirched Kurt Russell, and I don't think patience can stand for that.
Kurt Russell's like the one good thing in that movie. I'm just like, yeah, this dude is trying way too hard for the script this crappy for this movie.
What?
She even put the H in the what?
I screamed. You made me screech right now.
I'm sorry.
You turned Patience into Little
Kurt
John.
Russell
What?
Yeah.
Can you explain...
Okay.
I'm not going to get into it because I won't spoil it for the fans, just in case. I'm just saying, some of the stuff that he decides to do as a character make no sense whatsoever in terms of plot and cohesion. If he wanted everything to work out perfectly, he just needed to not say one thing. The one thing he needed to do to not make Peter pissed off at him. Just saying.
It's almost like his character has a really big ego or something, in which
But
he
even
can't
then,
keep that
he
to
shouldn't be a
himself.
moron throughout the movie. I'm just saying.
It's almost like the character named Ego let his hubris bring him down or something.
Yeah, it's also bad script writing the way they did it. Just saying.
It's almost like narcissistic personalities think that they're, like, smarter than everyone else. And
After how much he manipulated Peter to make everything work out, then he goes, oh, by the way, here, let me lay out this one thing that's very obvious.
Well, it's called a plot point, Justin.
It's called a plot hole. That's what it is.
You are in the minority here, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, look, I'm okay with the first Guardians. I thought it was a solid, fun movie. I just think Guardians 2, the biggest problem with that movie is just, hey, let's take everything we did in Guardians 1 and do more of it. And more does not equal better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I'm the guy who says that Winter Soldier and Civil War are the best Marvel movies so far, so.
Well, I think that anyone can agree with those. That's what I'm saying about Captain Marvel, is that the first movies are never all that great. Like, they're stepping stones to be making a new character.
Yeah.
And
I think Iron Man's the only one that wholly worked on its own. But every other one's, their biggest problem is they feel like they're, like, stretching. You know, they feel like they're waiting for the next movie to come out, you know?
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, we're waiting to the next movie to really do something interesting with the story. And I feel like it's the same way with Captain Marvel. It's good. It's good. It's not Civil War or Winter Soldier level, but I don't think all of them need to be.
Yeah, I mean, even Captain America wasn't Captain America until, like, the second or third movie, because, like, his first Captain America movie, it's like, it's good. Not great.
No, it's good.
It's good.
But it's nowhere near as good as Winter Soldier.
No,
Oh, yeah.
not at all.
Yeah. And then the first Thor was fucking garbage.
I agree. Thank you. There we go. We can be back to friends again.
Maybe.
Yeah, I kind of like the first Thor,
God,
but I will admit,
you like all the Battlefield Earth tilted angles in that movie?
Dutch angles are Kevin Branagh's bread and butter, my friend. Have you ever seen the gay scale for Marvel Cinematic movies?
Oh, wait, what?
There's this whole thing going around on Facebook back a while back where they were measuring the gayness of every Marvel movie. And it was just some gay journalist or whatever, like, giving arbitrary points, and they gave
I think I did read that.
And they gave points to, like, 30 points to Thor, like Kevin Branagh's Thor, because Dutch angles are inherently gay.
What? So is that
Like,
to
it was
say
just
that are Evil Dead movies inherently gay? For how many?
It was just a bunch of nonsense. Like, it was a bunch of, like, really, like, it was just a tongue-in-cheek sort of stuff. Like,
okay.
subtract 10 points from Infinity War because I don't know who's president in the Infinity War canon, but when Steve Rogers and Bucky greet each other with a platonic backpat, I screamed "Trump's America!" Like,
what?
So it's just a bunch of, like, really funny, like, snarky things like that. It's just a fun little article.
Oh, brother.
But I did remember that was when I laughed at heart. I was like, Dutch angles are inherently gay. It was just like, what? Okay.
Well, I guess because they're not straight, so there you go.
But I'm
Oh, I get it now. And then the bell drops. All right.
Wow, I just figured it out for you. That's awesome. I haven't even read this article.
Yeah, now I hate it.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
What are we talking about again?
I don't remember what this episode is
I mean,
about.
seriously, we started. This has been all over the place.
Yeah, we started off talking about very serious depression topics, and then we ended talking about the crazy gayness of Dutch angles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, I feel like that's those are of a piece. I feel like that's a logical progression.
I'm not apologizing.
I get depressed
feel
talking
like
about gay angles, too.
When
So.
when one talks about the human condition, one cannot escape the homosexuality of angles of directorial style. It's just something that comes up naturally.
It's 1 a.m, people. I apologize. We are loopy now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's bring this one to a close, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, one where I don't know exactly what we got accomplished, but I feel like it was something.
This was a very personal episode and then became a very silly episode. I think both balance themselves out that way.
Yeah.
For sure. well, if you guys want to get those shameless plugs out of the way, Justin, you were already mentioning Breakfast Pub, and we would be remiss not to mention the Gotham podcast we are both doing for oneofus.net.
Yes,
indeed.
Got him!
Our very niche, I don't know how many people listen to it, but I'm doing it anyways podcast for the final days of Gotham. I love doing it. I can't wait. I don't know. Have you watched the new episode yet, Nick? Or?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I can't wait to talk to you about this.
I'm all caught up.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I know. I always say I can't wait to talk to you about it, but I missed last time, and I got some things to say about you talking behind my back about things I've been doing. Just saying.
And what did I do? What?
I believe the words were, I hate you, Justin, for spoiling Game of Thrones, and I also don't like the way you do this.
Oh, okay. Well... You want to have it out on mic? We will do it. We'll hash it out.
I will fight you. No. But yeah, so you can hear us there. It's a very fun podcast we do every week. We also do the Screener Squad, which is intermittently fun depending on the quality of movie we get this week, because, oh man, we had some doozies this week. I reviewed the new Mel Gibson movie, believe it or not, so...
Ouch.
Oh, Mel Gibson had a new movie?
Yeah, in a movie where he plays a racist cop. You're just like, oh, well, he's just...
Ooh. Wow, bold choice. Bold
he doesn't get rewarded
choice.
for it, don't worry. But it's just one of those things where you're like, you used to be cool, but then you became a racist and you became an irritable cop, so you're being demoted. I'm just like, wow, is this like slightly autobiographical in some of the details?
Right.
That is... interesting, I'll say
yeah,
that.
I think he's accepted his role that he's the butt of everyone's jokes now, kind of thing, where you're just like, fine, crap all over me, told me I'm awful, go ahead.
He's gone full Shatner.
Oh yeah, no, it pretty much has. But then yeah, you can find me there, you can find us on the Breakfast Pub where I write the notes and occasionally host, and then we have a few other things in the pipelines for future reviews and a possible podcast that we will do possibly in the near future, so...
Oh my goodness, so vague. I love it.
Well, Nick knows what it is, so.
Vague or exciting?
Let's just say it's going to get very cold in the podcast soon.
Oh,
so.
shit. I know. See, I know.
Wisconsin is coming. But
House Tice is here.
Man, House Tice is a very pale and not well lit house.
What is your house slogan for House Tice?
It would be a pale but still very much noticeable. we are pale but make ourselves known.
I think mine is just always drinking.
Ooh, no, I got my house slogan.
What is drink is never drunk?
What is... House Tice, or House Tice of the blonde haired and blue eyed, the Aryan house, but not like Nazi Aryan, more like early '90s Disney protagonist.
TLDR.
Thing. So it's a long slogan. It's real long. It's bad.
So no, you guys have probably figured out what I mean by that. We'll have more details to come in the coming weeks, so just be excited.
I'm excited.
I
for one, am excited.
Patience, what do you do?
Oh, wait.
Other than drink.
Oh, okay. Always drinking.
Patience, it's whiskey o'clock. Tell the people.
It is Whiskey O'Clock. Other than showing up occasionally on the UGO podcast and Netflix and Kill, I also show up occasionally on Screener Squad, Justin's amazing podcast.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad somebody isn't totally jaded at me for all the horrible movies.
Even though I do watch some really bad movies, but it's all my fault because I'm the one that signs up for them. But for real, you can find me at Deliberations of Doom on oneofus.net, your only horror movie podcast that you really want to listen to, trust me, because
I saw the list of stuff you're talking about next episode. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're doing giant monsters, and I do have a couple of really... I can't give it away, but we're doing a special movie that hasn't come out yet that we're going to review real quick before. And then we'll also have a special guest who is affiliated with Giant Monsters.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Is it the typical guest that we expect?
Is his name a combination of two first names?
Yes. who just got back from like Tokyo Comic Con.
Does his name rhyme with cat stank?
His name might
Cat Stank is his porn name.
might start with an M and end with @Frank. So
Pussy Stank was taken.
Who was Stank?
So we're super excited to have him as a special guest on the next episode. So definitely check it out.
Awesome.
I love how vague and yet specific we're all being.
Yeah.
We're terrible at keeping secrets, I think.
Bury the lead, guys. All right. Well, you can always find our back catalog of UGO podcasts on our iTunes feed or Stitcher feeds, or basically wherever you can find podcasts. For Netflix and Kill, just keep an eye out on that. I will get our Carmageddon podcasts up. I'll just throw them all up 1 week probably, so that March Madness will still be Carmageddon month. And Patience is on one of those too, so that'll be exciting. And then, other than that, we will see you next week, guys. This is Unpolished Geek Out, and
We're out.